we've come to Procurex today to try and have a look at what procurement's going to be for the modern day professional and what procurement's going to be in the future. Lovely to have Paul with me. Paul, do you want to tell everybody who you are and why you've come to Procurex today?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Paul Tamanis-Laing. I work for Cambridgeshire County Council as one of their procurement managers within the place environment. I came to Procurex, one, because I've come quite a few times over the years, and I think it's a nice way of working out what other people are going through, so then I can actually understand, so I get a bit more context of what I'm working in and the industry I'm in, and also sort of like, hopefully I'm sharing the same pain and suffering as everyone else in the public sector, especially with PA23 now started.
Do you think that it's changed over the years? I think this is our 7th year here. Do you think there has been a change in what you see and what people talk about?
Yes, definitely. I think the scope has changed. The first ones I went to were in London, and that's how I learnt. Because I worked for a small little district authority. I wasn't doing SIPS or anything like that. I was new to the industry, coming out of facilities, and so I went to the London version of Procurex to basically learn. And that sort of really helped to sort of gain my confidence, and I've seen it change, and they try to improve how it works. You know, it's still sort of, the talks are good. Sometimes they could be a lot more informative rather than trying to sell a product, and it would be nice if there was more of that sharing of knowledge rather than sort of pushing a message. You know, other than that, it's good.
It's the inevitably at any exhibition you get sponsors who are sponsoring for a reason. So you get those kind of conversations. So within that element, what were you hoping to take away from Procurex? Was there anything particular? Was it PA23? Was it something else that you were hoping for?
Not really. I looked at what was on offer, and there was certain things, especially where procurement is now, and us as public sector, majority of us are going through local government reorganisation. I was hoping that there was going to be a bit more on that and sort of where they see it, and there was. It has been dominated by the talk of AI because it is a thing, and public sector does love a fad, and you know, you can't ignore it and you can't run away from it. It is there. And we just have to embrace how those things. So it has been interesting, and sort of listening to sort of like the Small Business Federation and sort of like the issues around SMEs. That is sort of like, to me, I find that quite interesting, and I really would like to be able to actually offer more and get them involved in procurements. But every time you speak to them, even with the supposed improvements under the Procurement Act, it is still a ball ache to become an act to win a tender if you're an SME.
I think the one thing that we get constantly is the idea that stakeholder engagement, downstream supply chain engagement is the thing that we still miss out on, and we still don't do particularly well. You mentioned AI there. I think everybody feels like I'm a bit of a broken record when it comes to AI. Do you think that AI will steal our jobs?
I think it will have a good attempt, but I think AI might get reset, and I think its focus and how it actually is pitched will change. I think when sort of like the way AI is currently funded suddenly changes and they have to actually make it a commercial model, I think that will make a lot of finance directors in the public sector go, you're not spending any money on it. So I think it will be a tool that will be used. I think what procurement officers and possibly how our roles will have to change, and I don't think we can hide from the fact that we can't just be this, you do the process and there's nothing more that we do. I think it is going to have to be that the role of a public sector procurement officer or manager, whatever, will be expanded. We will be doing more of how the private sector would look, especially for all your apprenticeships doing their SIPS, especially in the public sector. SIPS has a very, very loose connection with what we do. And I think the PA23 and all the issues that are coming up and all the changes, especially with local government reorganisation, I think there'll be a lot more use of SIPS, and what we learn through the apprenticeship will actually come through. So all those models that we all sort of go, oh, not another flipping one, will actually start being used. And I think that might be quite good.
I think AI will facilitate that.
Yes.
I think as you kind of alluded to there, it's AI won't replace somebody.
No.
We need to use it, and it's the Iron Man analogy.
Yeah.
It's like we are Tony Stark, but we need the AI to be the ultimate Iron Man suit.
I think there was an article. There's been a couple about the use of AI, and they sort of akined it to sort of like Google Maps. Before Google Maps, we all knew how to read a map. Well, some of us that are old enough to remember how to read a map, and now you look at a map and go, oh, I don't know, because you sort of took that responsibility and gave it to the machine. And I think we have to learn that AI can't be, here's the thing, you to go do it, which I think there's individuals that think that's what it's there for, rather than a tool to make things work better.
So I think we've kind of touched on a few different things there. Now, for me, I think one of the initiatives that CIPS has just launched, which is the Great Conversation, and I really like this idea that we should be talking about not what we do today, but what we should be doing. What do you think should be involved in that conversation? Where do you think procurement's going?
Within the public sector, I think it's holding its breath. I think it's holding its breath because of local government reorganisation. I think that, especially within the areas that it's affected, like Cambridgeshire County Council, I think there is a lot of unknown until we know. And I think the heads of service, the members, the corporate leadership team aren't really sort of sure what is the next thing. I think they know what their priorities are. Procurement will always be there, but I think it will be an expanded role. It will have to be in the new way. I think the pressures will.
And that leads on to the challenge. Do you think the biggest challenge then is resource and understanding, or?
Yes, I think resources. Some local authorities, they will have a massive procurement team, possibly procurement and commercial team, or a contracts team that will, is far bigger. Then you get others, which will have like 5 people in it. Okay, local government reorganisation will mean there'll be more resources for procurement and commercial functions, rather than the poor districts where normally it's one person doing everything. I think the scope of it is going to be interesting. I think there's the opportunities within public sector, outside of the private sector, to stop going to the consultancies and come to the public sector, because we need those new bloods, and hopefully local authorities can actually sort of encourage those. They help, especially with sort of like level 4 SIPS apprenticeships. They're really good, nice introduction, and it is a great place to cut your teeth. But then there's that inside and internally how procurements work. There's this sort of, well, we only deal with certain value procurements, and then there's this light touch or no touch support for other procurements. And I think that might be that will be certainly a challenge in whatever comes next. But that's where a lot of our spend is. But it's not considered a lot of spend because you only see it as an individual contract. So it'll be interesting.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the day. And
no, thank you
take as many keynotes as possible as you can. Amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, mate.
No worries. Thanks a lot.
Right.